heart of the midfield is fantastic. 17 games played, 9 goals and 7 assists at Barry. Now he's got to transfer that over to D1 to UNC to find success in the ACC.
Only his 3rd career start. He's yet to have a goal or an assist, getting his full eligibility and getting now his 5th game played for UNC. We'll see what Cafaro and crew can do. Mike Stutt is our official in the middle. And we are underway. Yes, we are. From Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Clemson again. Back-to-back league losses. Last time they played, Saturday, September 24th, a 6-1 home loss to who is now the #1 team in the nation, Wake Forest, who just lost to Duke. But this is a Clemson team hungry to get that taste out of their mouth. North Carolina 1-1-1 in league play. Last time out, a win on the road at Notre Dame. Looking to replicate that result, and maybe with a better performance, as they really just kind of gritted that one out. Back to Till Zinhart. He will play it over to Milo Garvanian, the goal scorer in that Notre Dame game from the penalty spot. Touched out of trouble by Sam Williams, number 7, New York Red Bull Academy product. And Carlos Samuano helming the team again for the UNC Tar Heels. His 12th season running the show here, got his 150th career victory. 150th career victory early this year against USF. Started in 2011 in a impressive season, to say the least. They won the treble, the league, the ACC title, and the national title. And the 2nd coach ever to win a national championship in his 1st season. He was the national coach of the year as well. Garvanian trying to connect with Ernest Bawa, does not come off. That's Adam Lundegaard. Alvaro Gomez, the captain. Enrique Montana, the right back. Usman Silla, number 10 in the middle. You're going to want to watch him. He's electric, as is Mohamed Say on the ball, the big Spaniard target forward. Devin, what are you really focused on early on with these two teams coming in, obviously, in little different trajectories?
For Clemson, I just want them to start clean. One foot in front of the other. You take a beating like that, 6-1 in general, yet alone against the nemesis that is Wake Forest and Bobby Muse, you're going to be looking around going, what's wrong with us? Nothing's wrong. You're just having a rough time right now. They're 7-2 for a reason. They've showcased themselves at a high level already. So get back to it. Do the easy things, make it look simple, and then you can start to build and have a little fun moving forward. UNC, they've got to be better attacking. So whether it's Cafaro or Bawa or Clark, they've got to find a way to get some momentum early. You do not want to be pinned down the entire game against this potent attack of the Clemson Tigers.
Montana playing Gomez into the channel. El Chifamba missed last game with an injury, back now. Finds Silla, the most electrifying players in the country. 0 to 60 quickly, almost gets the shot off, gets it off with the flex out for the first corner of the match. There's Mike Noonan, the Clemson head coach in his 13th season. Last year, the national champions. 2nd time getting to that spot. Got to there in 2015, fell to Stanford, but avenging that with the win over Washington 2-0. The most outstanding player in that College Cup final, Isaiah Reed, is not available tonight's game. COVID has gone through this Tigers team. Gomez outswinging ball. Eventually picked up by the feet of Say. Chifama did not win that race. Took out Akeem Clark. You say, whoa.
Just welcome to the game.
Yeah.
A little how do you do. One thing as a striker, you start to check back into the no-no zone. It's one of those areas where you come all the way back into the midfield. A message will be sent one way or another at a certain point in time, and it just so happens to be a couple of minutes in, counterattack or not. One thing to remember, Dallin, is that while I don't fully agree with the assessment from Mike Noonan, he said that they were brilliant and they were great 60 minutes of that game against Wake. I wouldn't go that far, but I would say that they were good for extended periods of time, specifically in the first half. They made a lot of mistakes to themselves, very careless, that cost them. You know, the 2 goals that they gave up in the first half, one, it's 1v4 at the top of the box. Nobody checks. You allow anybody to turn. Even my 2-year-old son could turn and bury one. And then the other one is from a set piece. So there are 2 mistakes. You're down 2-0. You come out. You got to find a way. And then the other side of it is you haven't had the same production, to your point, because of COVID and injuries on the offensive side. You got to get your best 11 on the field. And I'm not sure we've been able to see that so far for the reigning national champs.
Bawa tried to float it in. Just easily read there by Montana. Yeah, I think without a doubt, Clemson has not had their 11 best players on the field yet this year. Hamidi Diop, number 5 in the back line, maybe the best center back in the nation. was out minutes into the third game of the season and just returned the last game against Wake. Diop on the ball there. And back to the arms of Joseph Ndema, the freshman, getting his first start as Ernest Bawa is upset. Ndema, the freshman from Accra, Ghana, getting his first start. He started 4 games, though. They were all non-league games so far this year. What do you make of the change with him and Trevor Mannion?
He's got a problem at the goalkeeping position. Now, the good news is they're both extremely talented. The bad news is you're trying to find quality results against quality opponents. The one thing you got to recognize here is Ndema has been perfect. 4 starts, no goals against, 4 shutouts. He's also played non-conference opponents, so Mannion hasn't been put in the best spots, and not all the goals given up are his fault, but you still have to take the leadership side of things. Talk about the defensive front. Yes, it starts with your strikers, but the other side is the goalkeeper sees the field the best. Communication has to be better. You got to bail him out on some of the simplistic stuff.
Potentially dangerous set piece here. Bawa stands over it. Big 25 Akeem Clark in the middle. Center backs are up as well. Driven in low, right off the training ground and almost to the back post. Zinhard was there, just couldn't get a foot on it. Looking for his first goal wearing that UNC colors, the transfer from Tulsa.
Well, the defensive escapades continue for the Clemson Tigers. How do you let a ball come all the way across? As the goalkeeper, how do you not come and get this? That's inside the 6. Look at the hesitation. There's nerves there. You got to be willing to take command of your box. The confidence has to start right there, and it's really unfortunate for the Tar Heels. They don't pick one up on the back post.
And we mentioned Ndema stepping in there and Diop's injuries, but this is the reigning national champs that replaced 4 out of their 5 backline members. The only one back is Diop. Guys like Oscar Ogren, an All-American, George Marks, multiple times All-ACC player, Justin Malou, a top first-round draft pick in MLS, Charlie Asensio, multiple All-ACC awards. I mean, that's a lot to replace, and that's part of the struggle here for the Tigers.
Remember the fact, too, that just one more on the goalkeeping position. It's easy to look at someone like Trevor Mannion and think upperclassman, junior. He's been here. He's seen it.
Silla combining with Say. Say tried to lead it off.
You're behind George Marks. He's a legend. Let's be clear here about him, his time and tenure here with the Clemson Tigers. He had 2 appearances in 2021, one of which was coming off the bench in the PK game against Marshall.
Yeah.
So you're really dealing with an underclassman in terms of experience.
That's going to be a card. Bawa just cleaned out by Lundegaard. And Bawa's a young man that's dealt with a ton of injury issues. This is his 4th career start, 20th appearance, but getting back to full health, and that is the card for Lundegaard. Bawa dealing with a lower body injury, also a wrist injury, but he's up and walking, the junior from Ghana.
Speed's not going to be an issue for Hamady Diop. It is something you will question for the Maryland native and Adam Lundegaard. That's a young man who he's got great spatial awareness, but sometimes he just gets caught out a little bit. And as you twist when you're going to come up and commit like this, you better be sure that you're getting this ball, because 2 things are going to happen. 3, if you don't get it, it's going to get around you, or you got to take him down. Either way, you're in trouble. That's the speed aspect that I talk about, where you're going to step up into that space. If you leave the back line, you're one of the last lines of defense. You have to make sure that you're going to win the ball.
And got some officials moving around here. The near side AR, Chris Zerner, has now jogged over to the other side. Mike Stutt, the main official, he's now holding the flag. And we're being told there may be a 4th official coming on to now be the center official. Carmen Serbio is the 4th official. You see the background there changing his attire.
Just hope he's all right.
Yeah.
Usually in situations like this, it's a bit of a health concern where maybe he's pulled something. You have to recognize these guys are doing anywhere from 8 to 10 kilometers a game themselves.
Yeah.
Have to be fully fit to run the center official position.
Clive Edwards, the bench AR on the far side bench, they're working on Stutt, trying to get his communication setup altered. And we've touched on, while the referees deal with their injury issues, let's touch on some of the Clemson problems, as we talked about a little bit already. But mentioned Isaiah Reed is out tonight yet again, as are some other players. Sean Smart, who started 3 games at the right back spot, is out. Titus Sandy Jr., one of their center backs, who also deputized the right back in the last match, is out. And as we mentioned, these are games missed all year, and 3 out tonight. Hard to get a rhythm in that way, especially when these games are coming thick and fast.
Do the math. Problems at the goalkeeping position, which we just talked about. You're looking at multiple defenders, multiple midfielders, and a couple attackers. And that's the guy, as you mentioned, MVP of the College Cup in 2021, who was in a can't-miss situation. Mike Noonan felt the same way. Coming in this year, you and I looked at the game in Indiana and wondered what this team was going to be because of players that were lost, and they still had so many good returners. And we came out of the Indiana game and said, yeah, this team's going to be just fine. But then all of a sudden, and Mike Noonan said it best, last year they had the best weather ever. Now there's just dark and stormy clouds everywhere that they go. But I still go back to the fact that you're 7-2. I get it. You're 1-2 in ACC play. They'll find their way throughout conference play. That's fine. They'll fight through it. But you're 7-2 overall. Yeah. That's not by happenstance. No. That's just called quality and talent. And everybody's going to deal with their issues. Nobody goes unbeaten. It's 2022. That does not happen anymore, right? Like
really, really hard to do.
The depth of talent and quality around the nation, it's almost impossible, even more so in the ACC.
Of course. That's the Clemson side. Now, both coaches, I was interesting. They said, well, we kind of think they're going through, we're going through. Clemson's got all these new bodies, as is Carolina. They had a lot of the same guys locking down the same positions for years now, but their roster is completely different. We've got 8 new starters out there. Tim Shells wears the captain's armband. He was a lock in here. Riley Thomas as well. Milo Garvanian. Other than that, everybody else out here is new. You've got transfers coming in and trying to bed in. And part of the problem with college soccer is you got about 9 days of training, and you start playing games. It's so hard.
Yeah, 2 schools of thought when I look at this roster breakdown. 6 of 11 on the starters tonight are either underclassmen or transfers, 3 of which are between the goalkeeper and the back line. That's a testament to how good they are defensively, by the way, that you've missed all of those players. They've gone, you've got new ones come in, and you haven't missed a beat in that aspect of things. But it is a tribute in the worst of ways, unfortunately, to what's going on the attacking side. Great example. Any all-star game, any sport in the world, you put all these guys together, it's not the prettiest product, is it? It's the ability to build the chemistry together, that brotherhood that you get in the locker room. It's a trust factor, so that even when you get a quality of player like Juan Cafaro, when you get a transfer like Sebastian Schott, they can't just step into the locker room and become a leader. You got to earn that trust, and that comes with time. And unfortunately in college soccer, you don't have a ton of it. But they built it quick here for the Tar Heels. They've just got to find a way to tone it up a little bit higher in the final third.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the numbers speak for themselves. You look at their scoring offense, total goals, assists, shots. Their offense is a struggle, but as he praised, Carlos Zamorano praised it's not just their backline. As you said earlier in the broadcast, it's the entire squad that's helping them be top 15 in the nation in goals against average, with 0.63 goals allowed per game. It's everybody going forward. It's not just the attackers. It's being able to possess the ball and contain the ball and play off each other, which is, needless to say, a work in progress for a young man like Akeem Clark and others that are playing all over up in that attacking third.
Out of the 11 right now on the field, and it's really what they always are. 8, they're not attackers. I mean, one's a goalkeeper, so that's easy, but you think about the outside backs, you want to get them to get involved a little bit higher, right? You talked about Milo Garvanian and what he could bring. Matt Edwards, he's been on the right, he's been on the left. That's a guy highly touted. Injury last year, missed pretty much the majority of the season. So you get everybody going. It's not just on one player, so it's easy to think, well, you got to get a striker to get more goals, or you need an attacking playmaker and a number 10 to start to provide those opportunities. But 2 or 3 players can't do it by their lonesome. The idea that you can have one guy carry you, that's a long forgotten thing within college soccer because of the talent and the depth that we talked about. But it is baby steps. You asked me coming in what I want to see. I said cleanliness of play for the Clemson Tigers. I just want to see someone from North Carolina take someone on. I want to see someone go beat someone, right? And there's plenty of guys. Sam Williams is one of my personal favorites. That's a guy who is a visionary within this team. Carlos Zamorano saying, if I could personify a player that represents this university, it's number 7, Sam Williams. That's the most academy minutes and appearances ever by a Red Bull Academy player in USL Championship history. Comes over, that kid's going to be a pro one day.
Yeah.
He can play the 6, the 8, the 10. So why not a player like that, even at just 17 years of age? He's supposed to be a senior in high school.
He reclassified.
Why not some kid like that step up, do a little turn, grab the confidence going, because then all of a sudden you've got the upperclassmen thinking, if this young kid can lead us, why can't we do it ourselves? Why can't we follow and be better going forward?
Yeah, Williams has been, he's outstanding. But you hear about it in basketball all the time, the reclassification of guys, basically to get to the NBA sooner. This is very different. He's really classifying to get to the North Carolina. We know he has pro aspirations, but obviously having a chance here to prove himself in college soccer. This is why we're delayed. If you're just tuning in right now, having an official change. Mike Studd, our center official, is no longer out here with the group. Carmen Serbio was the fourth. He is now coming out into, let me recreate, but let's figure that out. Carmen Serbio now is going to be the near side AR. Chris Zerner now goes center official, and Clive Edwards remains as the bench AR. We've gotten that all sorted out now. 6 or 7 minute break early on. And Mike Stutt, he will not return to the field, it looks like, as of now. So there is no fourth official for Carlos Samuano or for Mike Noonan to yell at. I'm not sure what other than managing the subs and stuff, but the fourth official's job seems like normally just to get berated.
Well, you know the assessor, Ryan Sigich, is at home waiting for me to yell at him.
Well, we may get there. We may get there shortly.
Give it time, folks.
Sorry, Zerner. Incoming. Shots fired. Back underway here. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Monday night ACC men's soccer action. Postponed game. Was supposed to be played Friday night, but obviously Hurricane Ian came through this part of the country. Thoughts and prayers with all those that are dealing with real issues around Hurricane Ian. Rescheduled game, not a big deal. This could be a big deal for the Orange. Usman Silla, one of the most creative guys in the country. Back heel to Joey Skinner. Back to Hamidi Diop. Center back from Senegal. Lundegaard on a yellow card. Turns it over. Nope, they maintain possession. Marco Garcia getting his first career start. Coming off a hat trick 2 games ago against Presbyterian. A hat trick in less than 6 minutes, mind you, Devin. I did that when I was like 8 one time. Not in the real world.
Still my favorite thing, by the way, that it's in less than 6 minutes. Yeah, there was a 15-minute halftime break.
6 minutes of game action. Here's Garcia galloping into the channel.
Goals are goals.
Nice cross with his left foot. Arriving late was Derek Wallif, excuse me, the grad transfer from Brown. First team all Ivy League player.
Speaking of freshmen, a little drop down in. The ability to grab some hold-up play off of him, one-on-one situations. This is one area that we haven't seen as much. Notice the advanced role by all three, and they're all three on the front line now. Derek Wallif is on the back post run, that's great. But the pride, the bread and butter, if you will, of this Clemson squad over the past couple of seasons, it's movement, it's overlapping runs. We just haven't seen it from the outside backs as much recently.
I used to see Charlie Asensio just bombing up there. Sean Smart did a good job of it, the freshman, but he's out hurt again. Now Bawa trying to get on the turn. Working on Alvaro Gomez. Back to Williams. Shat, all West Coast Conference 3 times. 23 in blue. Transfer from St. Mary's. Chifama dispossesses Cavaro, but won back by Clark. Edwards dispossessing a bad area. They could be in trouble. Olive plays it to Say. Say outside of the boot pass to Silla. Continues his run in the box. Cooley's liked by Zilhart there. Allen takes down. Zilhart takes down Silla, but the foul was actually called on Silla prior to that.
I told you coming in, you just got to play better. The decision making coming the direction. It's got to be better from the Clemson Tigers. Plenty of runs. You have Marco Garcia sprinting back through. Mohamed Say the vision is there. It's just the execution. Ball drops down in. It's an easy turn. Stick the ball down in the corner. Let's go have a little fun. These are the little problems that start to add up for Mike Noonan and the Clemson Tigers, and they certainly have over the past couple of matches.
Bawa rides the challenge from Gomez. Almost skipped it past Montana. And Dama pings it out. Joey Skinner, the transfer from UNCG. First team All-SoCon player last year. Diop. Out for a goal kick.
Time and space.
Nice take by Garcia. Oh, good move by Garcia. Cutting inside. Pass picked off read well by Shat. He'll try to get a counter going. Underguard on the yellow, working against Bawa. Faro, driven in. Easy handling for Adema. Riley Thomas heads it down to Tim Shells. Shells just cleaned out by Silla. Shells, the sophomore, now junior, started 46 of 45 games he's played for UNC, German native.
He's the brute force within the midfield. Just locks down all these central positions. He's really the, at this point in time, the only true leader you have in that clubhouse because of kind of seen it all, done it all so far for Carlos Zamorano.
Shells is one of those guys that started in the College Cup game they were in 2 years ago. Only one on the pitch that did that. Shouldn't say that. Riley Thomas and him were in that game.
He played in the Regan-Alliga. That was a area that I spent the majority of my career. The difference was, as I was doing in my early to mid-20s, he was doing it at 16 years of age.
Yeah, he is the youngest ever division winner. He was just 16 on a team that won their division, that 4th division in Germany.
You know, that's a good experience builder, though, for a young professional, and it gives you an idea from a travel perspective when you come to the States. You can't compare the United States to Europe. Yeah, it's that simple because it's just so big. But when you play for these lower division clubs, you do so much of this kind of brutal travel. I'm sure. Like everything's not on private jets. You don't have a baggage handler and in great hotels. And so you play in the 3rd and 4th division. Got to do a little bit on your own. I would make the argument that facilities and everything that's put in front of you, the assets, if you will, are actually better in collegiate soccer, especially at a program like North Carolina, than what you're dealing with in the 4th division there. And yet still you come out on top.
I mean, both these coaches will tell me, but both these facilities for both North Carolina and Clemson are unbelievable in comparison to a lot of USL teams or even MLS Academy teams. That the opportunity and the facilities you have access to, the resources here across a lot of the ACC soccer schools, men and women, are excellent.
People forget about that aspect of it, right?
This facility was redone a couple years ago. It looked beautiful.
I can remember when doing the North Carolina Duke game in 18 that they had to move the quote-unquote home game to Duke because they didn't have a facility. But it is a recruiting thing, right? I mean, at every sport. Remember when the Miami Hurricanes for football moved from Orange Bowl to the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel, Hard Rock Stadium now? And I can remember talking to Joe Zagacki, who's the play-by-play voice of the Hurricanes for ages, and asking him about it. And he said, did it hurt you guys leaving your home in the Orange Bowl? I said, no, the exact opposite. Helped recruiting. Kids want to play in a pro environment.
Garcia goes down in a heap there. This is the first time Chris Zerner is being kind of called into action, the new center official.
And watch the ankle. It's the area that I watched the follow through. Yep, just clips up underneath him, rolls it a little bit on the tackle by.
No card, rightfully so.
No, there's no card there, not at all.
Just double check. I like to feel you out. Folks, he's a center back. He likes, unless there's blood or he actually rips somebody's ACL, I very rarely hear him say it is a foul, but I got to ask.
Notice, though, that speaking of fouls and center backs after the yellow card, that North Carolina, when they have had the ball, they've attacked this left side where Lundegaard is. Yeah. Speed's an issue, and also sitting with the infraction early on. Why not force that issue a little bit, see if you can get him into more trouble.
Both Senegalese teammates are down, Diop and Silla. Silla's going to generate a yellow card to Matt Edwards for that clash. Edwards, the sophomore from North Carolina, Atlanta United product.
It's definitely a foul. It's just a little knock from behind. I mean, whether or not you need to pull a card in this situation, that's a little bit aggressive to me.
That's Edwards' first foul, and really the first time Edwards has been involved in any altercation.
Understand.
Have you ever played in games where you had a new center official come in? Are you trying to put your stamp on the game? What's that like?
It's very subjective based upon who you're dealing with. But I was just about to go the way that one thing over the past couple of minutes, the flow of this game is off because of all the infractions that are starting to count up for both teams, especially for North Carolina. Referee can step in and just say, I've had enough from all of you, even though that's his first issue. I'm going to set the tone here. I want you to back off.
Big switch, looking for Montana, and he brings it down. But dispossessed very easily by Williams. Williams passed a little too much on it, but Bawa will get there. Bawa clipped down by Chifumba. And Zerner says play on, just a foul. We just saw a second ago, Mike Stutt, the former center referee, has now changed his clothes and all attire. He is now the 4th official on the sideline. So good to see him back out here. Couldn't go as a center, but will remain involved in the game. Edwards back to Shat. Carvanian. Williams picks up the ball, looking for the switch, doesn't play it, tried to dink it over the top to Clark, and then Dama is there to claim. What were you gesticulating about over here?
Well, it's not a bad ball. The problem is the run on the backside. It wasn't read by Matt Edwards, and Hakeem Clark didn't recognize the fact that it was going to be dinked up over the top. He wanted the ball into his feet, but that's where it had to be, into space, especially because you're dealing with Hamidi Diop in the one-on-one mark on the backside. Just watch the width of this team as well. Interestingly enough, you know, they're inverting Milo Garvani and they're bringing him to the inside. That's your left back. That guy's got a ton of pace. Sam Williams, though, is the possession player. So usually you're thinking ball into his feet, ball down into the channel. They're actually switching. He's doing well holding the width of the field, but the problem is he's not fleet of foot. So you're almost cutting off your nose despite your face. You've still got the defender, you've still got the representation on the inside, but you don't have the extension to help stretch this back line.
Diop out to Skinner. Actually, here Ndema, the freshman out there, talking to his back line, being vocal. His first start at ACC match. Gomez will flick over to Garcia. Clemson trying to play through that press, doing it well. Silla, creative, doesn't connect though with Skinner. Thomas pings it over to Williams. Wawa drops the foul underguard. 19 minutes in here. I mean, we had a referee change, had some fouls. You taking anything away from this first portion of the game?
Should have got more coffee.
Doesn't pull his punches, folks.
Don't even drink coffee, but I'll take some. No, not at all. They're still feeling each other out. You know, tactically, it's nothing groundbreaking that you're seeing right now from either squad. We'll say that Alvaro Gomez a little bit deeper for Clemson Tigers in the midfield than we're used to normally seeing. He's also a bit nervous about the amount of bodies centrally located for the Tar Heels, and yet I just made a point a second ago that Sam Williams, one of those guys, is coming really far to the outside in this left-hand flank, and it's a concern of mine just because when they're in possession of the ball, you're taking one of the best guys to be on the ball out of the mix.
Bawa trying to turn through some traffic, falls to Wallach. Clemson's committed 9 fouls already in this match, in just under 20 minutes. Early ball played in, over the top, I should say, to Williams. Gives it a ride, and Damon spills it. But Skinner got there first. Bawa on the deck again. Shat looking for Bawa, can't bring it down. Diop, left-footed center back, skipping past and eventually out of play.
Just trying to replicate what went on in the 52nd minute against East Tennessee State. He did it on his left foot. Good little cutback to the inside, but that's what I'm talking about, by the way. Now, this is good. He's not as far as you have in terms of Sam Williams. He's just outside the top of the 18, inside that little elbow on the corner. You got the overlapping run, but it came much too late. And not only now do you not have the body out there, the problem is, too, is if he's standing there and Mylar Garvanen or anybody else isn't making that overlapping run defensively, you're Sam Williams and it's not his fault. He's 2v1. By bringing another player into the mix, you drag a defender away. It makes it a lot easier in terms of space to step in and make a play on the ball.
Silla. Shat dispossesses him. Silla picks it up again. This time goes down looking for a call and finally will get it. Ahmed Say, first in the league in assists, tried to spring that switch and get something going. Bodies are down in the middle. Akeem Clark running at defenders. Chifumba there to clean it up. You've still got a Carolina player down. Looks like it is Williams in the middle of the pitch. It is. And play continues, though, as Clark is looking to attack. He eventually goes down. No call. And Williams is up off the mat. Quick restart by the Tigers. Still on it. Say. Still deflects it. I mean, Shells deflects, excuse me. Oh, off Williams' head. He goes down immediately, and Chris Turner will blow this one dead. Do not want to see that for the young freshman from Carolina. I've already mentioned him. Grew up in New Jersey, part of the New York Red Bull Academy. He's played over 2,000 minutes for their Red Bull 2 team in the USL Championship. Very talented young man that I know you know well. He looks obviously worse for wear. We'll see if he can stay in the match.
Remember, he just got knocked down a second ago on the challenge by Adam Lundegaard. You got to be real careful if you're Mike Noonan because of the yellow card and the number of infractions the center back has picked up already. 4 in total. Good to see him up and on his feet, moving around. I'm telling you, this is a name that you should remember. Put it in your bank. It's going to be there for quite some time, and that'll be with the Tar Heels and then moving on to the professional ranks. Great vision. Versatility that Carlos Zamorano talks about, his ability to really play anywhere on the field.
They're making him exit the field because treatment came on for him. They're sending him back out now. So Williams, what they're pointing is, in the new rule this year, he doesn't have to go all the way to the center where the subs are, and that was his point. He's playing on this side of the pitch, so can I wait out here to come back? So he made the jog. Carlos Zamorano said, no, go the other side. That's where we have now ended.
Should be in high school, starring for North Carolina, read the rule book.
He's a Carolina student.
Good for him.
There you go.
Good for him. We saw a couple in the stands before the game, didn't we?
which, folks, I mean, this is a good thing, but still, we walked down to go talk to the coaches before the match. We crossed 8 people, 6 had their computers out, and they weren't like, you know, messing around on social media. So, yeah, one was watching TV. They were doing work before the match, the student body here. At the oldest public state-funded institution in our nation, I believe 1793 was the first charter for this. Now, Georgia's charter is later, but they didn't Wouldn't admit these students. Our guy Freddie, my man, our great statistician. Good notes. I believe George Washington was the president. Just saying. We're done here. Back to soccer. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. There are the computers. Everybody's working. Our director, Ryan, is listening to what I'm saying. It's 0-0. If you wonder why we're talking about charters in the first public school institution, the game's been a bit choppy, to say the least, here between these two teams in this ACC tie.
I'll tell you, earlier on in the season, you told me 25 minutes into a match, Clemson wouldn't have a single shot on target and only have one to their name in general. I would have called you crazy.
With, I believe, now 10 fouls. I mean, it's 9 fouls, excuse me. But they have not conceded a goal in the game. They lost 6-1 their last match to Wake. Get to the sub in just 1 second as Tim Strobeck enters the match. I want to tell you about Sunday Best this week. Women's soccer volleyball quadruple header. We start off BC against Louisville to start your afternoon, noon Eastern. Then 3 volleyball matches. Number 10 Pitt against Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, BC, and then NC State, Wake Forest cap the day off. All 4 right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Tim Strobeck has entered the match for Mohamed Say. That's 7 up top. Into the mix, the Norwegian sophomore, the Swede, the sophomore. Skinner skipping past some defenders. He's got an option. Strobeck can motor. Plays him into the channel, and he goes down hard. And this may be a card. You've got your hand up, and yes, it will be. I think, yep. That was Zinhard over there. The American Conference Defensive Player of the Year last year at Tulsa. Enter the book.
Second team All-American as well for that Tulsa program that's still continuing to turn heads. And the tackle itself, it's not that bad in the sense that he comes back across. The problem is the contact with the body occurs and it never actually takes shape with the ball. You get the ball there and then come through the player, you're just fine. But when all you get is the player, and especially with the great viewpoint that the referee has, you're always going to get yourself into trouble.
Opportunity to put one in the box here for Alvaro Gomez. Slings it in, right to the arms. Andrew Cordes. Have not said Cordes' name much. The freshman from Denver. Part of that Colorado Rapids Academy. Logged a lot of minutes with the Switchbacks, their USL program. Almost turned over in a dangerous area. Back to Cordes.
Not too shabby for a redshirt freshman to have the 3rd best save percentage in the ACC behind only Russell Shilley from Syracuse and Elliott Hamel from Duke, both of which are top in the nation.
Clark riding the challenge, looking for Williams, but right to the feet of Montana. Montana can't control. Goes out to touch. I think you're only supposed to throw behind the back passes on the sidelines so you pick up the ball.
In this country, you can probably do whatever you want. You can figure out what's going on with the basketball team, sign them up.
I think our national team manager does it. That's, you know, he's starting trends here.
They kind of do it all, right? The escapades in the sidelines, the dressing. See Bobby Muse in his dunks the other night? Head coach of Wake Forest.
Let people know what's up.
They can do it, man. I'm here for it.
Clemson may let people know what's up right now. Opportunity in transition there. Gomez eventually ridden out toward the sideline. Plays it forward to Silla. Oh, Silla almost turns Thomas. Ottawa, crafty, yeah, they'll get the push called there. Little basketball move right there. You just give them a little bump in the back when they jump. That rebound. The national runners up here, North Carolina, open their season in about 6 weeks. UNC Wilmington, UNCW for the men's basketball team. Faro on the move after picking the pocket of Montana. And Clark just ran through Chifamba. Easy call. Making a little, what do you got going on over there? You look a little exasperated.
I'm going to make some enemies, and that's okay. The decision making is so poor right now from both teams. You know, you have this run coming up the side from Juan Cafaro, and you have Sam Williams coming up with you. So instead of slowing down a little bit and allowing him to not only step into the space but drag a runner with him, you give yourself an option going forward, but you also provide yourself the luxury of having more space. He speeds up. He outruns his coverage and ends up in a 2v1 and giving the ball away.
Dangerous ball played in there. Thomas gets his head to it first. Montana again. Low ball off. Thomas out for a corner. And we've got another sub coming in here. Tyler Trimnell entering the match, the freshman from South Carolina. Making his 8th appearance on the season. Scored 2 goals so far against UAB and Presbyterian. A 4-0 win the Tigers had in between these league losses between Syracuse and Wake Forest. Cameron Fisher also joins the fray for Juan Cafaro. And Hilly Goldahar, the transfer from Syracuse, right there, number 11 in blue. Gomez, outswinging ball, headed down off the bar, still loose. And I believe it was Diop that got his head to it and just inches from breaking the deadlock. Tigers still trying to apply pressure. Brought down by Gomez. Falls to the feet of Wolof. Wolof working, gets the shot off the flex in the arms of Cordes.
That's just brute power. The set piece is what broke the back in the game against Wake Forest, and how's the redirect? Wow. That's not too far off by Adam Lundegaard. All the troubles you've had on the other side. Check the separation right at the penalty mark. Just a little push away. Tracks back on the ball. When you're stepping away from a ball like that down to get enough momentum to then challenge the goalkeeper, it's very difficult because the force comes off the ball when it hits your head.
On the guard, head up, looking, connecting with Chifamba. Chifamba, oh. Key White, who just entered the game too. Going to be called for a foul there, but almost created an opportunity. There's a quick restart. The ball is in play. It's Chifamba just getting up off the mat. Silla, good reach by Shell, but he's able to stay on it. He goes down, not going to get the call though. Goldhar working down hard, and that's a call on Trimnell.
As opposed to the run that I talked about just moments ago from Juan Cafaro, this is the smart run because you don't have any help. Just continuation of the play going forward. Drag some space and runners with you in hopes that a mistake will be made, and it's certainly what happens defensively.
Hey, try to read that ball and intercept.
10th foul of the match for the Tigers. You hear the freshman and Damon back there marshaling his two-man wall and talking to Montana.
Just keep an eye right here at Hilly Goldar, right at the top of the 18. He's off the right shoulder. There's plenty of space in. He's marked now, but you could get cute and play it behind the wall and then cut it across.
Don't do that. Liked your idea, but they tried to play it into the area unsuccessfully. Strobeck on the run here down the flank. He's got Silla peeled back, plays him. Silla tried to get it over the top till she fumbled, but read well by Garvani on the back stick. Akeem Clark striding into the attacking third and then just ripped by Lundegaard. Silla dropping deeper to get the ball, pings it out to Strobeck. Edwards on a yellow, defending him, and Strobeck's pass leaves something to be desired. Clark dispossessed, as is Silla. Looking long for Keywight over the top, almost connects. It was between the two defenders, but couldn't bring it down. Did the band just get here? I feel like I didn't hear this earlier in the half.
They were on their computers doing schoolwork.
They may have been. Sub coming in the match now. Alvaro Gomez checking out. Looks like Brandon Parrish coming in the game. Yeah, Brandon Parrish comes in, and Yaya Bakayoko comes in the match for North Carolina. Bakayoko, the sophomore from the Bronx. And here's Silla looking for Strobeck, and again, they are not on the same page.
This is a really good look right now. One of the areas they're struggling to find a presence in is Joey Skinner hasn't really attacked too much because of the advancement in the way that the Tar Heels are set up. So as he comes low, Derek Wolof comes down underneath. He either pinches central or he comes in deep next, like right in front of or next to Skinner and Diop. And then Ousmane Silla is given the freedom to roam. So you literally have no one on the left-hand flank. You've telegraphed the fact that we're going to try and push it central or eventually make our way over to the right-hand side. And I told you, you're going to attack this Tar Heels team. If you're going to do it down the middle, it has to be on transition. Otherwise, when you're in possession and they're dropping back, the only way to beat them is from the outside.
Skinner was a guy that was really effective. He's a transfer from UNC Greensboro at 15 points in the year last year. All first team, all SoCon. Is it just a matter of the level, or what is being asked of him? Should he be able to get forward and affect more? Because you know Mike Noonan likes to attack like that. Answer that in a second as they're on the run here. Still out wide to Strobeck. Strobeck looking for space. Parrish. Got a lot of bodies in the box, but a bad pass. So what's going on with Skinner there?
I would say that it's both outside backs, to be fair. Enrique Montana, the same thing. And you look at Enrique Montana and Smart, the difference between the two. Montana is the more attacking option. Usually, when you see your outside backs sit deeper, it's because of the respect that they're giving to the game in front of them. I don't see that right now because all you've got is two high strikers. So you're 4v2. You can send one and be okay. But the balance certainly isn't there. One's not going and the other one's not coming back.
Wolof, good move to get some space. His pass a little bit wayward. Cameron Fisher now. Outside the boot pass looked pretty. Unfortunately, the wrong team.
There is also hesitancy that comes from a lack of confidence. And so when you've just been drubbed by 6 goals, especially when it's from Wake Forest, you're a little bit worried about what's going on in front of you and what's behind you, and it's easier to keep the game in front of you, right? The other thing that you have to understand is, as a player, when you start to step up, you're thinking, okay, where's my coverage going to be from? How many D-up is the easy answer because he can pinch back over? But is Derek Wolof capable of making those deep-lying runs to retreat? The answer is, in theory, yes. But then who covers him? It's a trickle-down effect, right? If Silla's out of position, you don't have help on the left. So Wolof's looking for 2 areas on the press or dropping back in. You know, gone are the days where you got to make these 60-yard recovery runs. You have to be able, as an entire unit, to step and retreat together. And some of that hesitancy can also come along with the fact that he's not attacking. Just thought you should probably know that I was corrected by Bobby Muse, and he actually had Jordans on. They weren't Dunks. My deepest apologies, because any sneaker fanatic would know the difference between the two.
Well, you're at Jordan School. You're the Jumpman School, so at least you're correcting yourself with the right audience here.
Apologies to the head coach of Wake Forest.
And in all honesty, Bobby, I watched the game. If I would have seen the shoes, I would have corrected you on air, but I didn't pay attention to that part. Let's say about promo 2 here, folks, TV term. Week 6 college football getting your way here. It's ACC Network on Saturday and the ESPN app. Virginia hosts Louisville noon Eastern. Then Virginia Tech is in Pittsburgh, who just lost at home to Georgia Tech after they just fired Jeff Collins. See if the Panthers can bounce back. And the day is capped off by our ACC primetime matchup. It's a big one in the Atlantic. Florida State against number 14 NC State. Both teams coming off of top 25 losses to Wake and Clemson, respectively. Big weekend coming your way, as always. ACC football on the network on Saturday. Into the channel, down goes Trimble, no call. And we'll have another Clemson sub here. And you've got Nathan Richmond coming in, the freshman from Atlanta. Replaces Silla. And Richmond, the freshman, his father actually was on the '87 national championship team. Richie Richmond, that team was honored at Clemson last month. He's an exciting young player, 25 in orange. Get his first chance to get a touch. No, he won't. Welcome to the match, Nathan. Just get in there, get a foul real quick. Atlanta United Academy product. Takes down the Red Bull Academy product in Sam Williams.
How's to say for the attacking unit for Mike Noonan that he's pulled off all 3 of his front 3, and one of the boys in the engine room, and Alvaro Gomez. The changes aren't unnatural for him, but to have all of them off the field at one point in time, a little bit of an extended conversation to be had at halftime. Some of the ideology that needs to go on with the inventiveness or lack thereof moving forward.
Key White wins the ball in a dangerous area. Dema comes off. Shot pulled back, skips over, and then cleared by Diop. From our angle there, Goldahar got enough of it that if Diop wasn't there, that may have gone in the back corner.
He's trying to pick out the far post. The one thing you have to say is this ball back across, sometimes just because you can doesn't mean you have to play that ball in, because you're 3v1. You do have the trailing runner. They're lucky to get the deflection on the ball back through.
Bakayoko's second corner of the match for the Tar Heels. Floated toward the back post, looking for Shells, headed down and out by Lundegaard. North Carolina looking to break the deadlock here, late first half. Bakayoko runs side to side now to take this corner in. Swinger. Shells gets his head on it, but it's no avail. You do hear some Clemson players say, hey, we got to be the first to win it. Showing the urgency. Shells got his head on 2 balls there, floated in.
Well, that urgency is something that is usually showcased every single time they step onto the field, even from the guys on the sideline. And, you know, when you think of this team and the success that they've had, I like to use the phrase that they ask questions. Well, what does that mean? It means a lot of touches on the ball, they want to be the aggressor within a game, but that doesn't necessarily mean going 100 miles an hour down the field. It's up-tempo, it's down-tempo, it's a lot of rotation within their system, and you're just not seeing any of that. And again, I go back to the argument about confidence, and especially when you're on the road against a team that is known for its defensive front, that seed of doubt just sits there and you think, was that 6-1 a fluke? Right? Were Syracuse that much better than us? Why can't we score? And then everybody else looking around you on the team is thinking, how do we get out of this rut? You still go back to one player stepping up and trying to get something special.
Bakayaka's touch very heavy. Lundegaard looking for options. Finds Parrish. Amady Diop skipping past Key White, getting a big switch, looking for Parrish to run onto it. Carvani in there just in time, still loose though. Cortez couldn't handle it. A lot of contact, no call. Zinhart eventually comes over, but doesn't clear it. Oh, Chifama couldn't bring it down to maintain the pressure, but Lundegaard does. Just over 70 seconds to play. Lundegaard, your center back now, all the way on the far side. Center line working. Draws a foul. Diop tried to drive it in. Skipped off of a fault to Trimnell. Still loose. Somebody cue the Benny Hill music. Devin, your thoughts as there's been 2 shots on goal, 19 fouls in this game, and 0-0 is where we stand.
You are going to have to fight through games in the collegiate season with the weather and with the lackluster play. You just got to find a way to dig in and get a result. That's what's going on for the Clemson Tigers right now. For North Carolina, this is prototypical. This is what we've seen all season long. They dig in. They're very scavenger-like on the back line. They win every single ball that they can. Going the other way, there is no vision or inventiveness for this team. You got to find a way to get creative in the final third. Haven't seen any of that. Not surprised.
Scavenger-like. That's Devin Kerr, folks. Okay, 0-0 at the break. When we come back, we will look around. Not to scavenge much to find really good teams that have played at a high level this year in this conference that weren't expected. We'll take a look at the weekend scores and some of those teams you need to know. 0-0 at the break. Adam Lundegaard was just inches from breaking that deadlock. Ramsey was happy he didn't. We'll be back in just a minute. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 0-0. As we are set to start the second half between number 17 team in the nation, the Clemson Tigers, and the North Carolina Tar Heels in the rare Monday night ACC men's soccer action. This game was initially programmed for Friday night, but was postponed due to Hurricane Ian. Obviously, this is a very small ramification of a very serious issue so many are dealing with. But here we are, 45 minutes to play alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff. We are underway. And Devin in a first half that had few highlights. How do you change that from both teams' vantage point? As hold on, Cafaro may have an opportunity. Almost played in Sam Williams there. Back out to Milo Garvanian. How do you change that for both teams right now?
You'd be smart with your decision making, but you just have to find a way to be a bit more creative and chase the game. There's got to be a level of intensity that's got to rise for both of these teams, and the managers are going to talk about that at halftime and say, guys, this is really simple. I just want high energy levels. Let's go quicker. Let's think faster. Let's talk more. You know, I've said this to you a couple of times before. I'm going to say it again. This is a very easy game that we make difficult on ourselves, and that was a good representation to play in the first half where opportunities were there. They just didn't have good decision making.
Cafaro looking long for Bawa, but Read nicely by Lundegaard. Both teams have essentially put their starting lineups back in there with the exception of Tim Strobeck, who just played the ball back. The forward is in for Marco Garcia. And Brandon Parrish still on the field for Clemson. Just went hard the challenge there. And down goes Sam Williams again. 17-year-old from New Jersey who reclassified to graduate high school early, be part of this Carolina program, limping yet again. 12th foul of the match for Clemson. Keem White trying to bring it down. Back to White. And Clark, excuse me.
Let's go, get ready. Go on the side. Time. Go wait for it.
Sebastian Schatt able to maintain possession from Carolina. Till Zinhart, grad student from Germany. It's probably North Carolina's longest spell of possession the entire match. Pinged out to Williams. Got an overlapping run from Garvanian. Oh, nice tackle by Brandon Parrish. Over to Strobeck. Defended by Shell. Shells goes down, leaving room for Silla. He's dangerous. Slips it forward to Say. A little too much on it. The flag stayed down. First time we almost saw those two talented attackers, Say and Silla, combined. Say, the senior from Valencia, Spain, dealt with injury issues throughout his career, but that young man is outstanding. Currently on 2 goals, 6 assists. First in the ACC with 6 assists this season. There's Say on the ball again. Popped out to Joey Skinner, whose dad just said we should be saying nice things about Clemson when I saw him walking to the restroom. Sir, I'm trying to say good things about both teams right now.
Are we saying bad things?
We're not. I'm trying to say good things.
Those parents and their technology from their seats.
No, he walked right by me. Oh, okay. This was an old school human to human. Just hey, say good things about my son. Very politely requesting it. Sir, I'd love to. It's been a choppy game so far here in North Carolina. That's how the Tar Heels like it, though. Top 15 in the nation in goals against average is Lundegaard taken down heavy, and Parrish is saying, should we be able to play on? Do you agree there?
Yeah, let him play. Why not? Yeah. You're on the ball. You've got the movement coming back forward. You got the space. It's called playing an advantage.
Bad pass by Williams, picked by Silla. Silla skips past Shells. Gets end line, tries to clip it back, goes off Thomas and stays in play. Does seem like a much better energy though the first couple minutes here in the first half.
They've ended up a couple notches, and A, we'd like to thank them for that. Cheers, boys. B, that little step by Ousmane Silla, that's just great vision, because his movement should have continued to the right. That's why Sam Williams got caught off guard. He's expecting him to recover defensively and help out coming back, but Silla sees it coming, just steps right into the path of the ball.
Clark on the path of the ball now. Just taken down by Diop. Unnecessarily so, and potentially in a dangerous spot.
Both center backs have had their problems tonight. Hamidi Diop and Adam Lundegaard. Lundegaard picked up a yellow card for his efforts in the first half, and this one, just a little nudge in behind. It's certainly a mistake because you've held up the run, you've got the play in front of you. He's retreating from the most dangerous area. You don't need to step in there. You're absolutely certain that you can win the ball.
That's safe. Hey, BP, step forward of it.
Bawa and Kafaro over it. Bawa to take right into the wall.
Move up.
He complains for a handball, none given.
Move up.
Kafaro tried to chop it back, but Skinner was there, and it'll remain Tar Heels' possession.
Enrique, watch out, wait.
Derek, 23.
How many? Hey. Get close. Derek. BP ready.
Oh, how many?
No foul.
Smart.
Good. Turn. Yes, Uzi. Left. Yeah, good, Uzi.
Silla eventually wins a goal kick. Time to tell you about ACC PM, 4 o'clock Eastern every weekday. We send our thoughts and concerns out to one and only Mark Packer, dealing with COVID right now. He's on the shelf, but Trey Boston, Taylor Tannenbaum are in the seats for you. We saw Drew Carter deputizing for Pack today. They talk football and everything else you need to know around the conference. Weekdays 4 Eastern on ACC Network and the ESPN app, ACC PM. Still working. Eventually, Shat wins the battle. Transfer from St. Mary's, then he draws the foul. 3-time West Coast Conference All-League player, Shat is, and from Christchurch, New Zealand, and Mike Noonan is not happy about it.
Former freshman of the year, Matt Herman watched those couple of seasons back for good reason. When you play in the diamond, which is what Carlos Zambrano and the Tar Heels are lined up with, there's got to be an understanding that at another level, you've got to find a way to make sure that you got coverage both back and coming forward. All right, well, that's easy enough. But when I've talked to you a couple of times about making sure that there's enough width within the system as well.
Bawa gets in line and runs out of real estate. Continue, sir.
If the overlapping runs aren't going to be there, you got to create it yourself. So we've seen that plenty of times from Sam Williams. He's done a good job coming out there. I would still like to see a step coming off the back line from Milo Garvanian or Matt Edwards. But for Shot, it's the same thing. As he starts to come out a little bit, find a way to just make sure that you're holding shape, that you're set up both attacking-wise and as the ball drops back. But you also, there's got to be an aggression within this system just to go and beat someone. You can make that argument for anything, but especially with the way that they set up defensively, all the guys behind the ball, as you see Sam Williams down once again. He's taken a couple of knocks tonight.
He took basically a long ball played off his head earlier. Took a couple big collisions. He will continue on, though. Man, there's Williams again in the fray, and that was called on Say as a foul.
First name on the masseuse's list.
Can I get on that list?
It's a real thing, man. Head into the locker room, jump in there quick, write your name down. He has been knocked and battered and bruised all over this field, and it's not to say that he's not capable of managing himself. He's taken a lot of tackles that are unnecessary, to be fair. Friendly reminder, he's only 17 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
scrappy.
He's probably sitting right now. I hear them up there. I could be back in high school running the game against all these kids instead of out here battling with these men.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for your future, young man.
And well, he was a Red Bull too, battling with grown men too for quite some time as well. So he is wise to this game. As Bawa tries to hold it up, cannot. And Strobeck dispossessed by Garvanian. Clark out to Edwards. Edwards trying to play it forward and can't connect. Cover your laptops. Incoming ball.
Little things again, though. That ball's got to be out in front of him. You got 15 yards on this right flank. You put the ball in front of Matt Edwards. He continues the run going forward. You change the shape of Clemson. They have to drift. Instead, when you knock it just on the inside of his person, he steps on it, you've slowed the entire game down. You allow them to recover by the simple things that you make look so difficult. Just put that ball in front of him. Make it a lot easier on yourself.
Well, the simple things are running, the turf monster god, Usman Silla. One of the most creative players in the country. Leads the ACC in points. That was not his best moment. He actually had green space in front of him, too, which is the unfortunate part about that slip. Underguard, the left-handed center, left-footed center back. Great distribution out of the back to a streaking Montana. Stroback overlaps him.
Again.
Chifamba.
Line.
Cafaro, he's on the run. They could have numbers. Tries to play Bawa, and what should have happened there?
Not bad.
That I know, and I'm an idiot.
We're at that point, man. It's, you want to be creative, you want to be aggressive.
And we've hold Billy Goldahar coming in the game and match. The transfer from Syracuse. Sam Williams heads to the bench. If you're new to college soccer, it doesn't mean that Sam's night is over. Second half, you get one re-entry into the match. And again, a new rule this year: no more overtime. We are going 90 minutes, and if we are at 0-0, this thing is over. But here comes Usman Silla trying to change that. Falls to save. First time strike low into the arms of Cordes. First shot on goal for Clemson. Nearly 60 minutes into the match. Is that a testament to Carolina, who's again an elite defensive team, or to Clemson's offensive struggles as of late?
I would say it's both, because A, they are good defensive unit for sure, and the recovery has been there. There's plenty of players when the ball does come their direction. But I still go back to the argument I told you in the first half. Why you keep going right down the middle? You have the ability to play to the space on the outside, and as you come, if you play out here, you stretch them. It's real simple. I come this way, there's an ebb and flow. You're going to shift, create space on the other side. Just got to be quicker.
Bob was pretty quick there. It looks like he draws the... No, did not draw the foul. Chris Cerner, our middle official, said get up. Nice turn by Clark. Oh. There is a much better pace to the second half again, but it has not yielded many opportunities. Oh, Silla skips past Shells. Running downhill into space. He's got Say to his left. Plays Say. First touch kept under control. Back to Silla. He wants it on the right as always. Lays it off to Chifamba. Out to Montana. He's got a lot of orange shirts in the box. Looking back, stick, Say, and Matt Edwards tangled up, and Edwards is still down.
Just a quick glimpse of the greatness that is Usman Silla. Coming right up through the middle. No apologies necessary from the attacker for the Clemson Tigers. Still reminded of the initial conversation we had earlier this year with Mike Noonan talking about the lineup. He's kind enough to share his first 11 against Indiana, and he's going through everything he says. And Silla, he'll be somewhere on the front line. Kind of just goes and does what he wants.
He'll go and does what he wants. He's special. I mean, that's what special dudes do. But like many of the key, oh, that's a handball, Montana, and yes, it's caught after a second. Bala wants a card, but that was not intentional. But Silla did miss multiple games with COVID protocol, which obviously is a huge deal for this Clemson team. A lot of guys have suffered through that, and Isaiah Reed's missed time, and Nathan Richmond's missed time, and Derek Wolof has missed time, and they've had a number of guys, as we outlined in the first half, that have missed games throughout the course of this year, which have been important for this team, to say the least. Garbani and Cafaro over it. Play it back to Shells. It's in hard. Floats it long. Chifamba's got some space to pick it up with. Finds Wolof. Ball rolls across Scylla and Edwards, and Scylla's now on the gallop. 2v1 with Shells and Edwards defending him, and the heels won. And Victor Olofsson enters the game for Tim Shells, the captain. Now we talk about leadership. He's the one consistent voice there. But Olofsson's played a number of games. This is his 35th career appearance from Sweden. 14 in the middle of the pitch. Also Alvaro Gomez, the captain, one of the captains for Tigers, rejoins the fray. Ping down, looking for Goldhar. Ball skipped in off the back. Still there's Cafaro. He dinks it in. Scylla trying to ride the challenge. Olofsson just in the match. And he's taken down by Scylla. A senior. Used to be part of the U19 and U17 Sweden teams, national teams that is.
Scylla's trying to get this ball to the far side of the field. He had Tim Strobeck in wide open space, and the recovery that comes from shot. How much contact is there? It's knee to knee on the right side as the secondary look comes back through. I didn't think he caught him on his foot. With that angle, a much better viewpoint.
Driven in.
Easy.
3 points. And Cameron Fisher back in the match as well. Senior from Palo Alto. He's come in a number of games this career and had big goals and big games, whether it be tournament games or ACC tournament games. Making his 9th appearance on the season. And down goes Skinner, the hands of Clark. Both teams now in the double digits on their fouls. UNC at 10, Clemson at 19. Pardon me, 18. Scylla finds Gomez. Gomez to Montana. Strobeck comes short, trying to turn. Eventually does. Gomez, quick trigger. Because what?
18 and 10, that's 28 fouls. You're basically at a foul every 3 minutes. Quick math. I mean,
I was told there would be no math. I can't add, so I was just trusting you.
it's so difficult as a player when there's no rhythm within a game. It's
another subs. Mohamed Said checks out. Back in comes Marco Garcia, freshman forward from Italy. Got his first career start earlier today. Coming off a hat trick 2 games ago against Presbyterian. See if he can light the lamp even once today, make the difference. And Chifama looked like he took down Clark. Clark's upset, no call. Scylla riding one challenge into some space, finds Garcia, and ooh, he left the ball behind.
Watch how they use him too, because he's only operated out on that right side of the front 3, and Mike Noonan has brought him, at least initially, more to that out-and-out number 9 spot right down the middle as he peels off.
Tyler Trimble also came back in the game, but he can't connect. Clark, great ball played through. Opportunity for Goldhar. Charging down the left side, cuts into his right. Still Goldhar working. Goes down and no call. Much to the chagrin of the folks in the light blue around us. I saw you wave your finger. No penalty in your mind there in live action?
No, leaned into it. There's a little bit of contact, what the striker's looking for. He recognized that the ball needed to come to the back post, and since he didn't make that decision, which we've seen all too much tonight, opportunity closes down, tries to take advantage of it. Here's another one, same thing.
Same thing. Garcia tried to sell that one. Dispossessed in a bad area. Trimnell lays it off to Silla. He could be the guy. Game winner against Indiana at a similar spot earlier this year. Kind of all by himself. He can create something out of nothing. And Silla's pass out to touch. All right, let's take a look at the penalty shout for Carolina on Goldhar.
Well, it comes from the fact that they've changed the shape within the midfield. They've come a little bit more advanced within their six as Tim Schultz has stepped off and Olofsson has come on. So you allow more runners coming forward. Watch the cut back across. Should have played it there. That ball should have come square back across and he just leans into it. Remove the decision away from the player. That's simple stuff where as you're building up, take the easiest route in front of you. When he steps on the ball, opportunity removed, and he tries to find a way to work himself out of it.
Goldhar on it again. Good turn by Chifamba. A nice pass to Silla to unlock the defensive bit. And Shat comes back in and breaks it up, though, nicely. Edwards. Clark, good feet, good hold-up play. And Lundegaard, who's on a yellow, needs to be careful. Uh-oh. Cerner may just give him a talking to, and he does.
There can't be any more after this. It's reckless at the beginning of the game. It's persistent infringement. You got to be real careful if you're Mike Noonan. He's got to recognize that right now, and he's smart enough. Student of the game is not fair to say for that coach. He's going to recognize all too well that Lundegaard's on his last leg over there.
Make sure you can see him. He's running from behind.
Well, he does have Ben Erkins on the bench still. Titus Sandy Jr., another center back, is out injured. But Erkins has played in big games, ACC tournament games, NCAA tournament games. See if he will be used. But right now, it is still Lundegaard on the yellow. Parrish skipping by a challenge and playing it up to Trimnell. Trimnell looking for, trying to cut back inside, still working. He's got 4 blue jerseys around him, and he turns it over. All right, breaking the action. Talk about Sunday best. This week you've got women's soccer volleyball quadruple header. BC squares off against Louisville to start things off at noon. Then 3 volleyball matches. Number 10 Pitt against number 11 Georgia Tech. Notre Dame, BC, and then NC State, Wake Forest cap off the day. All 4 right here in ACC Network and the ESPN app. Shells now, a couple of subs here. Shells back in for Olofsson. And Ahmad Al-Kwak, the junior from Oak Ridge, North Carolina, makes his 9th career appearance here in the match, an attacking player. Clark again trying to distribute. Doesn't connect.
Ooh, that's a foul.
On the overlap, not played at first. Now he's got it.
Go, go, go! Line!
Go, keep it. Let's go, let's go.
Run inside.
Little 1-2 out of some trouble. Played to Gomez. Skinner finally getting forward in the overlap. Silla, though, taking a few too many touches, struggling to maintain possession. They keep it. Back to Silla. Finds Parrish. Heavy touch, though, leads to a turnover. And Clemson did have a number of bodies forward. Clark making a run wide open, and the ball played behind him. Comes back to collect. Trying to take on a lot of orange jerseys, and he loses. Now Hamidi Diop stepping forward in the midfield, the center back. Game starting to get stretched. Gomez in tons of space. Good ball by Diop. It's like he didn't want to make that run at first. And he'll pull it back. Crossed under 20 minutes to go in the match alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff here, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. The Tar Heels and the Tigers, 0-0. 70 minutes in, but a huge opportunity. A lot of blue jerseys streaming forward. Goldhar leaves it for Kwak. Chifumba, though, collects. Back to Cameron Fisher. Just north of the goal. Probably the best opportunity of the half for North Carolina there in transition. The game is getting stretched here, Devin.
You get everybody starting to run downhill, and the good news is as you're going forward for the Tar Heels, you talked about it, all the blue jerseys, it's not just getting stuck in. Look at the ability by Milo Garvanian to continue the run here. You hold one of the defenders, you give yourself options. That's all you're asking if you're Carlos Samuano. Simplistic in nature is one thing, but there's got to be an expansiveness within the play as you start to attack going forward. Haven't really seen it all game long, but the past couple of minutes, as they've changed their shape centrally, they've gotten a little bit more flat. What it's allowed is two things. A, more players to get higher because you can play off of each other. But B, be very careful defensively because you're inviting pressure on the inside. You've seen Usman Silla on the ball a lot more because it's more clear-cut centrally, the space that he can operate in, as opposed to the pinches we saw in the first half in that diamond shape.
That last break, Derek Wolof checked back in, 16 in orange, back in the midfield. There's your Silla dropping into the pocket of space. He's got his head up looking for Wolof, and he'll get it to him. Skinner just doesn't want to make that run forward.
I'm yelling at him. Skinner on the overlap, just step right in, because behind him, there's plenty of coverage. I don't get it. You wonder if he's carrying a little bit of an injury, but the immediate response would be no, because we've seen it for the past couple of games like that.
It's 13 orange. We're talking about the bottom of your screen, the left back, bottom of your right of your screen there. Silla, great tackle. Plays Trimnell, skipping past some defenders. Goes down, but Shell's an outstanding tackle. Sam Williams, good take out of the air. Kwak in trouble. Dispossessed by Diop, and Diop cleaned out by Shells. Am I crazy? I feel like there's going to be the deadlock broken in this game. This half feels way different than the first.
Either that or someone's getting thrown out.
But that could happen
with the foul, excuse me, and the tackles that are flying around right now. Hamady Diop and him stepping up into this. The challenges that he's been able to do. That's something that, and by the way, we saw once at the tail end of the first half, a couple of times to break the pressure against Wake Forest. Him coming off the back line was brilliant. Now you're inviting some of that coming the other direction. The fact that the Tar Heels haven't been that threatening, I like the look for Diop and the Tigers.
29 total fouls in this match, though, to your point about the physicality of it. And we've got 16 minutes and change to play. Picked off by Gomez. Silla wants the ball desperately in the middle of the pitch. It comes to him after a couple touches. Plays Chifumba. Skinner now finally getting forward there. Got a couple different bodies in orange in the box. Plays Wolof back to Skinner. Low ball, looks for Silla, connects. Ridden off the ball, and it goes out. Maybe fortuitously for Carolina, but it's out for a corner there.
Guys, we gotta be able to fucking handle the ball.
I didn't speak French. This is a great university. Not surprised they're bilingual.
Got many players here, very fluent in multiple languages.
It's incredible.
Some speak George Carlinese. A couple more subs coming in here. Clemson Nathan Richmond comes back in. He's the player short of the corner right there. Ernest Bawa back in for Carolina. In swinging ball, back post, just over the head of Diop.
Hey, I'm on 26. Get ready. Marco.
Coming back at you. Looks like Richmond will trot over there to take it, the freshman. Got your center backs, Diop, 5'3", Lundegaard in there in the middle of the mixer.
Yes, Sam, start more inside. All of you.
Take a step right.
High floated ball, back post. Looking for Garcia, comes down to Diop, and let's run it back.
We're good. We're good.
Go again.
We're good.
Couple more subs, and it's going to be a big body coming in. Mohamed Say joins the fray. 2 strikers, as does Tim Strobeck. Placing Trimnell and Garcia.
Look at the top of the box. Play 2v1 right now. Come get Derek Woloff at the top of the 18. It was on for a second.
16 in orange. You can see him just outside of your picture. He's the top of the 18, unmarked. Ball into the mixer, and it's in the back of the net! It's Skinner! The UNCG transfer! You were asking him to come forward and make certain runs. We made that run, and he's made the difference. 1-0 to the Tigers. First career goal for Clemson, 5th of his career, and a huge time.
76 and change for Joey Skinner to get involved in the attack, and just watch the bodies on the back post. It's so difficult as a defender to track all the way out, and watch the goalkeeper. Cortez coming off his line. Why not allow the challenge to be made by one of your defenders? He's nervous because it's inside the 6, but that's a half-hearted effort. If you're coming off your line, come with full force, come and punch that ball. The slight hesitancy allows Skinner to redirect this thing and give them the lead.
Former first team All-So Conference, Southern Conference last year, makes the step up to the ACC.
You got time.
10th appearance for the Tigers, 8th start. He's been integral in this lineup early on, and now gets his first goal that has broken a deadlock for this Clemson team that needs a conference win, coming off back-to-back losses at home to Cuse and Wake.
Friendly reminder, by the way, that if it were not for his first run that got them down here, we wouldn't have been down here for 5 minutes taking corners. He was the one who advanced this team off the back line. And we just kept saying, the space is there, just go step into it. Once he finally does, you get a couple of corners, you get an opportunity, and now you've got your lead.
And again, this is a Carolina team that struggles to score, last in the league in goals per game. But they're going to need one now. But Clemson pouring men forward here. Strobeck with a cross into the stratosphere. Juan Cafaro checking back into the match, replaces Cameron Fisher.
I'm really surprised at the lack of a presence from the goalkeeper in that situation. He was caught. He didn't know exactly what he wanted to do. Should I stay or should I go? That gray area gets you into so much trouble, especially as a goalkeeper. A player itself, you can get away with some of those things, Dallin, depending on where you're at on the field. But in that situation, it's right at the 6. If you start to go, you got to commit, right? And he didn't have enough confidence in the marks that were in front of him. So if you're going to go, sell yourself out. Because 9 times out of 10, even if you pick up contact in there, the referee's going to defend you if you're a goalkeeper. Sure. He's going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Should I stay or should I go? Great clash song, not so much when you're a goalkeeper. Clark, again, finding guys in the channels. Over to Sam Williams. Lays it back to Shat, laid off as Garvanian was stepping in from his left back spot. Strobeck finds Say. Say loses possession, and now Bawa trying to run onto it. 1v1 with Diop, and pops over both their heads. Ooh, Diop. Ooh, risky pass. Just gets to Skinner's feet. Clark working hard. More substitutions coming in for Clemson. Looks like Enrique Montana now will come in for Brandon Parrish. Montana was just getting a little break at that right back spot. Parrish making no rush off the pitch. Say. Big fella's got great feet. Back to Gomez. Over to Montana. Strobeck. Driven into the chest to Say. Appeals for handball, none given. Oh, Say just... That's going to be probably a card on him. Riley Thomas. Maybe not. There's a lot of complaints right now coming from Carolina players, fans, and the bench.
Just hacked down in the middle of the field. How do you not pull a card here?
Yeah.
Even Riley Thomas is continuing on here, and they discussed on the sideline from Colasamuano.
Chris Zerner is bringing Mohamed Say back. We'll show you what happened, though.
There you go. Now he's talked himself into it. I mean, just whacks him down from behind. Get you in trouble anywhere, yet alone in the 81st minute. He'll leave a mark. Second on the masseuse list. They're adding up here.
They are. Thomas, the junior from Atlanta. Talented player. He started every single game he's played in for Carolina. 38 for 38. Part of that team that went to the College Cup 2 seasons ago. And Hamidi Diop still down after the header there. That's not what you want to see. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury. Picked that up in the 3rd match of the season, just minutes into that game.
His ankle now. He's pointing to on that left foot. Magical one, that is. Hope it's just a little stinger. Fully convinced, by the way, that if you committed him to striker, outside midfielder, I see it in him.
He's talented.
He's a really good player, man.
Really good player.
I was a big admirer of Justin Malou, but this kid's on another level.
Yeah.
Justin Malou, of course, the outside back for Clemson Tigers that was drafted to the Columbus Crew.
Part of the national championship team last year, wore the armband at different times.
He's about to play for an MLS Next Pro title as well. He just won their conference.
Clark comes short, maintains possession. Trying to dink ball over the top. Andema, the freshman, has not been challenged much in this game. His first ACC start, 5th of the season. Claims the ball, and now 9 minutes away from his 5th shutout in as many starts.
Time.
Clark's pass. Finds his way to shot eventually. He's got some numbers to the left. He goes down. His pass stays in, though. Eventually back to the Tigers, and they're potentially in some transition here. Paid off to Say. Cafaro. Oh, Bawa got a step there as Undergaard kind of stepped off the line. Good distribution, finds Richmond, but he can't hold the ball. Back and forth, back and forth.
No foul, going.
Goes out. If you're just joining us now, here's 7.5 to go. Joey Skinner's header was the difference, Devin.
Not going to not be the way that the game has gone. Of course, it's an outside back from Clemson who has no goals to his name in this season. With all the talent they have on the attacking side of the ball, left back, good little step up. Hesitation by Andrew Cordes coming off his line. Allows number 13 to stick it in the back of the net for the 1-0 lead.
And a couple more subs. Nathan Richmond's going to check out as Mohamed Say. Got Strobeck and Tyler Trimnell back in the match. Key White has substituted in for Carolina as well. Number 13 Blues on the ball now. Excuse me, Silla came back in the game. Clark had some space there, couldn't turn his body into it. Chifumba picks up a loose ball. Silla drags down Matt Edwards. Right, Devin, you saw Key White come in, another attacker. At what point do you, or at all, does Carlos Samuano just kind of throw caution to the wind and start putting bodies forward?
Well, the idea started about 15 minutes ago, as I mentioned, tactically, how you change it out. But as you go, you know, I've told you this before, I'm not a big proponent of all hands on deck, let's just throw it down there and go. Why not? No, it's not pretty, number one. I mean, if you're looking for 20 bodies in the box with seconds remaining in a national title game on a corner, maybe we'll have a conversation. But the reason...
Or what happened here 2 years ago, these two teams played.
There you go.
Filippo Zatarin had a header as the clock struck 0 to win a game. But that was, to your point, that's a different situation.
It's a little different situation. And the reason that you play the way you do is because you ingrain the system into these players and what you're trying to get out of them, right? So as you get into things, okay, can we find a way to advance players a little bit more in their roles? Yeah, you tweak the system a little bit, and maybe I push the outside midfield a little bit higher. Maybe we drop one striker underneath and try and operate another one within the midfield. But just continue to do what you're doing. Listen, you're fighting with one of the best teams in college soccer in the country right now. Regardless of what their form has been, Clemson Tigers are still really good, and you're right there. It's 1-0, 5 minutes to go. You just got to find a way, especially the outside back spot, like let's push someone up higher. That's where you can add players into the mix.
And just in case you didn't remember this from 2 years ago, Felipe Zatarin, the transfer from St. Mary's, gets his first ever goal here. As the clock expired, a top 5 matchup.
Oh, enjoy the back post. How are we going to do here? How does nobody step in there? It's kind of similar to the goal on the opposite end, except that hesitation came from the goalkeeper this time. Oh, you can go get it. No, you get it. I'll go up and header it. No. Zatarin happy to step in and stick this in for the game winner.
Carolina went on to the College Cup that spring. Remember, that was the COVID year where only mostly the ACC teams and a few others were playing in the fall. In a moment that many remember here, and great job by our team to have that footage.
I have to say, I did enjoy the spring College Cup.
It was awesome.
Much as I like the winter attire, as you know, I can funnel through the closet and find some fun things to wear.
For the Florida boy here, folks.
For the Florida boy, that's right.
He wants to wear his cold weather gear. I want to get rid of it.
I don't mind sitting in the booth and carrying, hanging out in the sun. A little bit different when the heater's around. I mean,
also, there were 15,000 people there.
There was a ton of people.
We had a double header, men's and women's. We had Marshall there for the first time ever.
Tailgating.
Marshall Thundering Herd fans bring it, let's say the least. See if Ernest Bawa can bring it here. Under 4 minutes, can they find an equalizer?
I got two, Derek, I got two.
It's 1v3. He's running out of real estate. And he did not maintain possession. Edwards finds Clark. Garbanian. Under 3. Bawa. Oh, dispossessed by Silla nicely. Shell's great tackle. Cafaro's touch was off, and he's going to turn it over. Wolf okay with just getting rid of it. Carolina's yet to muster a shot on goal in this half. Only 2 in total. Nice step tackle by Diop. Well, nicely. And he's got some opportunities in front of him now. As Trimnell starts to run with Silla to his right, Stroback to his left. Plays Silla on a foot race with Riley Thomas. Thomas, well done. Keeps it in play, keeps possession for his team. Joey Skinner, the goal scorer in the 77th minute, was just on the ball. His header from a corner is the difference, assisted by Alvaro Gomez. Great job by Chifumba. See if Clemson starts to head for a corner flag at some point in time and starts to milk this clock. Just over 90 seconds to go. They cycle it back. Diop stretched. Whew.
That's a dangerous ball. Went up to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, didn't play it back to Ndema and turned it over and almost put him in a really bad spot. But now North Carolina has the ball back. Ball skips through to Garvanian. He is dangerous on that left foot playing balls in the box, but it's deflected down and played to Silla. He's still charging forward. And his pass is going to leave something to be desired, to say the least. But does waste some time. 40 seconds left. Do we have another buzzer beater here at Dorrance Field? Key White is begging for the ball on the right flank here. They finally get it to him, but by that time Clemson's able to rotate over. Under 30 seconds now. White charging forward. Trying to get in line. Ball played in. Dangerous one. And they got 20 to get in the corner. The clock will roll. They've got to go. Pouring forward. Cortez, the goalkeeper, is up there now. We're at 10 seconds. White's not going to take it. Cafaro eventually will take it. Will they even get a chance? Clipped in. Headed out by Skinner. He won the game. He ended the game with his head. And that is the difference as the Tigers win 1-0 on the road in North Carolina. Stopping the bleeding a bit as they lost back-to-back games in the ACC. Their first win here since 2013. Devin Kerr, your thoughts?
Just be quick. Be quick in the sense of not writing off the Clemson Tigers. This team won 7 straight last year. Back-to-back losses. We're 8-2 through 10 games. You're in the exact same situation. It's a gritty road performance to get yourself back on track, and it's only going to get harder with the congested schedule. For UNC, this is going to be a theme all season long. You got to find a way on the attacking side as a team to produce more opportunities. Not enough of a presence, not enough shots on goal. Didn't challenge the goalkeeper, and they walk away empty-handed.
That is the final. 1-0.